somebody step up.
Step up to be a man.
All right. Kay's going to lead us in a word of prayer, everybody. Pay attention.
Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity today to come and learn about you. Thank you for our wonderful instructors. Thank you for everything you do for us. And I pray that we'll be able to take what we learned today and use it for your glory, to teach other people about you. And I pray that you bless the speaker and just give them the words to say. Give us the words to say to let us be your light. And I ask that you be with us in what all we do, so we can just spread the word about you and glorify your name. In Jesus' name pray, amen.
Okay, guys, we're going to do things a little bit different tonight. We're going to have, Sarah's going to speak. After Sarah speaks, we're probably going to, well, we're not probably, we are going to divide up into two groups. I'm going to take some of these. Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of discussion, and then Steve's going to go deeper in, and when he, starts talking a lot, well, I won't say talking a lot because he always talks a lot. But anyway, I'm going to take the younger ones, and we're going to go off to ourselves for a little while, okay?
Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterwards he was hungry. Now when the tempter came to him, he said, If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Then the devil took him up into the holy city and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said to him, If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge over you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against stone. Jesus said to him, It is written again, You shall not tempt the Lord your God. Again the devil took him up on an exceedingly high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, All these things I will give you, if you will fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said unto him, Away with you, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only you shall serve. And the devil left, and behold, angels came to him and ministered to him. Alright, I'm going to go over some of these with you all real fast. What it was, Jesus went up on the mountain to pray or whatever, and Satan came and visited him and was trying to tempt him to do this. Well, I was reading on this, and in verse 4, I was reading, and I was trying to get something more out of this than what it just says about tempting. And I saw a lot of pride in this. God, he didn't take pride over in himself. Us being, if we had some kind of powers or something, we would just be like, oh yeah, well, I'll just make these stones bread, boom, and be like, that was all me. Well, Jesus, he didn't do that. And I'll go back and read this. And it says, when the tempter came to him, he said, If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become bread. And Jesus said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. So God didn't do that. And this is showing, guys, I know we're just regular humans, and we're going to be tempted. I mean, if Jesus is going to be tempted, we're definitely going to be tempted, and it's going to be even worse. So, let's see, people in life, they're going to, try to tempt you with stuff, and especially, if someone isn't saved or whatever, they're not going to bother with them as much. But if us being saved, they're really going to try to, tempt us more. In that case, if we do it, then it's going to look even worse, because, we're supposed to be alive, we're supposed to be saved, and people are going to be like, well, if she did that, then that's really bad on her part. It's going to look even worse because we're saved and we're doing it. And temptation is going to come more than one time in this chapter. The devil came to Jesus in the wilderness, the holy city, and the high mountain. That's 3 times that Satan came to Jesus, and this is just in one small chapter, not throughout the whole Bible, but that's 3 times. And you guys are going to be tempted every single day. You guys are going to be put down, try to get, maybe if it's just smoke, or say a cuss word, or, do something that you're not supposed to do, we're going to be tempted. So, and I was going to read this to you all. It's the last verse in it. It said, Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. If you turn away people that keep asking you to do something, if you keep on saying no, keep on saying, stop that, I'm not going to do that, they'll eventually leave. And that's what it's showing. Satan left Jesus, you know, after he saw that he wasn't going to do any of that stuff, Satan just fled from him. And my message is to you all tonight, that if you all are tempted, turn it away, and eventually they'll stop, because they'll get, you know, the hint that you're not going to do it. So I'm just going to tell you all tonight, temptation, it's going to come. It's going to come more than once. Just be strong, you know, stand for God. All right.
Very good. Sarah hit the nail on the head when she said you're going to be tempted every day. Every one of us here. Don't care if you're 4 years old or 400. It comes in some way, shape, or form. If you're 89 years old, it's going to say, well, go ahead and eat that 4th ice cream cone. You're going to be dead soon anyway, you know. It's going to come no matter what. What is it about temptation that gets you? Is it the act of being tempted that gets you into trouble?
Fitting in.
So it's coming to temptation for reasons of fitting in or whatever. That's every time you succumb to temptation, there is a price. You can look all through the Bible and see many examples. Anybody know anything about King David?
More than I want to know.
Psalm 38. Go ahead, man.
Didn't he get in trouble for
He saw a woman, he liked her, sinned with her. She was married. Her husband was a soldier in the army. He had it set up to where her husband would be killed. Bathsheba, which is the woman's name, she had a child by David. What was his price? What was David's price for falling to that temptation? Anybody ever read the whole story? Nah?
There wouldn't be any peace in David's house.
Be no peace in his house. An example of that, his son rebelled against him and didn't just say, okay, I'm leaving. He tried to take over his country. That son ended up dying. There was always war in David's house. Another son, which is the one that Bathsheba had at the time, died as a child. This was all prophesied by a prophet named Nathan. He actually, if I can get the wind to quit blowing, this is what Nathan told David after he repented of his sins. He said, now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, no peace, because thou hast despised me and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house. His son raising up, trying to take over his own country. I will take thy wives before thine eyes and give them unto thy neighbor. His son that took over his home country for a while took his wives. For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. And that young child did die. Like Sarah said, talking about if they know you're Christians and they tempt you, purposely trying to get you to fall, they'll use that against you and against God. She's supposed to be a Christian. Here she did that. He's supposed to be a Christian and went and said this. That's what he's talking about right there. You've given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme. We don't want to give them any excuse to go against God. Our job is to bring them in, not go against. Anybody ever heard of Samson? What was Samson's big deal?
He was really strong.
Why? Like Robert, he had beautiful, long, flowing locks. Not so much like Robert, but still. But anyway, what was his downfall? How was he tempted, and what was the price he paid? Huh? Delilah. That was his wife. She was actually a Philistine woman and was trying to get him to find out, to tell her the strength, what made his strength. And he finally broke down and told her, succumbed to his temptation. He ended up, they captured him, gouged out his eyes, put him in a slave prison to grind. You've seen the mules on the old grindstone going around, grinding corn, stone, whatever. That's what Samson did. He ended up avenging himself because his hair grew back out. He pushed columns down on top of all the people that did this to him, but he died too because he did that. Succumbed to his temptation. Now here's one you may not have ever heard of. Anybody ever heard of Achan? He He got in a lot of trouble. Achan was one of Joshua's soldiers with the Israelites. When they were going in to take over Jericho, everybody knows how Jericho, the walls fall down. Remember the song from Bible school? They were told not to take anything that was there because the whole people, the whole city, everything was defiled. Everything as far as livestock and all that was supposed to be gone. The only thing that they were supposed to save was gold, silver, brass, metalworks to put into the treasury of the Lord, because one day down the road it was going to be used in the temple. Well, Achan, he stole a big fancy robe and some silver and gold. Guess what his price was? Anybody know? He didn't turn to dust. Eventually he did. When they found out what he did, they took him, his sons and daughters, every one of his oxen, cattle, everything, all his possessions outside the city. They stoned him, his family, and his animals. It takes a lot of rocks to kill an ox with a stone it to the head. And then they took all those dead bodies and all his possessions and set them on fire. That's pretty bad. There's always a price for succumbing to temptation. How can we keep from succumbing to temptation? Like Sarah said, it's coming every day to every one of us, in some way, shape, or form. Come on, guys, this is fairly easy. Leaning on Jesus. Why does leaning on Jesus help?
Because he knows how to do it.
Because Jesus was tempted as well. He knows exactly what we're going through. Find my other little place here.
The Spirit truly is ready to refresh us.
Tell you what Paul says. Talking about Jesus, it says, "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham." He could have came to earth as an angel. Just wiped everything out. "Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to God, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in that he himself has suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted." He knows what it's like. Like it says on over there, we don't have a high priest that don't know what we're going through. Jesus was a human just like all of us. And Trevor. Yoda on his t-shirt. Anybody got anything to add to that before we split up a little here for a few minutes?
And Mark 14 backs up what you said perfectly. It says the Spirit is ready, but the flesh is weak. And whenever we lean on the Spirit of God and not on our own self, because I know I take myself through a lot of times. Whenever I'm in the Spirit of God and stuff, I'm like, yeah, man, I believe what to do. Then when I'm in myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, still behind.
And if you're in the Spirit of God, and you're in that moment, like you say your prayer or whatever, temptation don't come. It knows it don't have a chance. And also, any temptation that comes to you is going to be something you'll like for a while. The devil won't tempt you with cancer. Come on over and just get you a big old cup full of cancer. Nobody would do that. But the devil will tempt you with things that you might enjoy, that appeal